The sounds of the season can often sound like this.
So, when are we getting some grandkids?
But with Hilton's Season to Stay sale, they could sound a bit more like this. Or this. Stay and save up to 20% off when you book before January 5th at Hilton.com. Hilton, for the stay. Minimum 2-night stay required. Excludes luxury and all-inclusive properties. Terms and conditions apply.
'Twas the nights before Christmas. Despite last-minute stress, few were delivering except Walmart Express.
Stockings were hung by the fire with care, knowing in about an hour stuffers would soon be there.
On to the road, Walmart Express delivery went. Chock full of wondrous things in the St. Nick of time sent. Let's go!
Get express delivery in as fast as an hour, even on Christmas Eve. Orders must be placed by 4 p.m. local time on 12/24. Subject to availability. Fees and restrictions apply.
Express delivery to y'all and to all a good night. Welcome to your Walmart.
The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are solely those of the individuals participating in the show. All persons described or mentioned in the podcast should be considered innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. This podcast contains subject matter such as violence and graphic descriptions along with adult language, which may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
We all know the joys of Christmas, Santa Claus, Rudolph, etc. But what about the dark side of Christmas? Is it true? Should we be scared? You're listening to the Mysterious Brews podcast, and tonight we bring you Christmas Cryptids.
Welcome to a deep, dark, dank, moist Christmas Eve basement somewhere in the bowels of Georgia. Well, Coachum, Festivus for the rest of us.
Well, you got some grievances to air?
No, not really, to be honest with you. I'm all right. Do you have some grievances to the air?
No, but somebody's telling me she does, but she doesn't want to talk on the air.
Oh.
She don't want to be a part of this.
Oh.
She got her own thing going.
Oh.
I know, right? Finally made the Christmas break. Tennessee took an axe whooping.
First round of those playoffs were hideous.
I can't believe Tennessee was not more competitive. If I'm honest with everyone, I didn't think we would win, truthfully, but I thought we'd make a game of it. But they just took a beating.
Yeah, it was not pretty, that's for sure. Why is this not working? I guess that's why it's not working. Okay. Well, where are we at? I was trying to see if there was any. So the seasoning that the Winfords sent as our Christmas gift, and thank you to the Winfords. We thoroughly got a good laugh.
Thank you very much.
Out of the plushy pickles, and the T-shirts will definitely be worn. I'm going to try the old barbecue seasoning, so if it's shit, you'll know about it.
So you're just going to use all my damn...
Oh, no. We got two seasonings. You'll have your own.
Okay.
Yeah. Just calm yourself there, son. Calm yourself. I was trying to see if we don't have any... Do we have any Christmas? No, we do not have any Christmases. No Christmas patrons. So hopefully you hear this on time. Spotify's being a little ridiculous right now.
Well, we're going unedited.
That's right.
We're going in raw.
Oh, I'm just going to leave that there. I'm just going to leave that in there. Okay. No fancy BS. We're just going to hop into it because it's Christmas Eve, and we've got the old 2024 Christmas Cryptids. We're going to start this one off with we're just going to go. I'm going to
Well, I don't know. Should we? Should we not? Should we
You can't do the main one first, bro.
Can't go him first? Okay, we'll go.
I wouldn't even say these are cryptids. These are more like folklore and stuff. I don't know why you made me say cryptids.
That's because the good doctor sent us a heartwarming email that we both got a laugh out of, saying, "Hey, for your cryptid Christmases," and listed all of these.
Well, I understand that, but
are you saying the good doctor don't know her cryptids?
I'm just saying I would classify it as folklore.
I would have to tend on the well, there's a couple, maybe one. Okay. But anyway, let's go with, out of the hat, we're going to go with Belsnickel. Also referred to as Chriskinkle, Beltsnickel, Pelnickel, and sometimes the Christmas woman. When he arrives dressed in women's clothes, Belsnickel is a mischievous, grumpy, bearded man wearing furs who visit children around Christmas time. And he keeps in his pockets treats for the little children. And he sports an abnormal long tongue and is often.
Yes, I thought this was like mean cryptids, mean folklore.
Well,
he's a gift bringer.
Well, it says that he is a servant of one St. Nicholas, and sometime before Christmas, Belsnickel will knock on the windows to come inside and then judge who is naughty and nice by asking children in a high voice if they were good this year. He asks them to recite a Bible verse, and then will throw some candy on the ground. If the child fails the tests, such as lying about if they behaved or jumping too quickly at the candle, Belsnickel beats them with a birch tree switch he carries with him. If the child behaves, they get the candy, cakes, or nuts that he carries in his pockets. Probably should have put that nuts in the second one, not the last one. Although he has a lot of similarities to one Krampus, Belsnickel was probably based on Knecht Ruprecht, a servant of Rupert, another companion of St. Nicholas who appeared in records in Germany in the 1600s. According to the Brothers Grimm, St. Nick's sidekicks probably all descended from the ancient pre-Christian beliefs in mischievous house elves. In the early 1800s, as German and Dutch immigrants made their way to America, so did St. Nick and his rogue gallery of sidekicks. In the Dutch area of New York City, it was a Santa Claus city, but the German-filled Philadelphia area, it was Belsnickel who was king of Christmas.
Oh, that doesn't have the same ring as Santa Claus.
No, but I wonder if that's why they throw beer at the Cowboys when the Cowboys play Philly.
Man, they'll throw anything. Batteries, beer bottles, bongs, pretty much anything with a B.
Philadelphia had Belsnickels that would roam the streets at Christmas, punishing children for bad behavior. Now, post-Civil War, as New York City outgrew Philadelphia and became the immigration and media center of the country, St. Nick's influence starts to spread nationally. But there was a moment where there was a chance you would be taking your kids to sit on Belsnickel's lap and possibly get whipped with a birch switch. Today, Belsnickel can be mostly found in his original home of Southwest Germany, some areas of Pennsylvania, and in pockets of South America. I wonder why pockets of South America with German accents. Wonder how that happened. Crazy. In one of the Office Christmas specials, one Pennsylvania Dutch Dwight Schrute dresses up as Belsnickel.
We are at the end of season 7. I've just now started watching The Office, and I did this in my when I saw that in the research, I was like, well, son of a bitch, I guess I got to finish the series.
So if you hear a knock on the door this Christmas and you aren't brushed up on your Bible verses, don't open the door.
All I'll say is this is The Office is a great show, and I love Will Ferrell, but Will Ferrell was terrible in The Office. It was terrible. And I think it was more because the dynamic was already set, but it just wasn't funny to me.
Yeah. I happen to I happen to agree. The next one, since we're saving the heavy hitter for last, it kind of goes together. There's two. It's the Yule Cat and I don't know how you say it, Grilla or Grilla.
I say Grilla.
Okay,
we're probably wrong. We're both wrong, but
we're going with Grilla then. So rather than worrying about getting coal in their stockings, the children of Iceland watch out for a ghoulish giant feline with glowing eyes and a taste for humans, peeking at them through their windows around Christmas time.
Ooh, that's fun.
Yeah. The Yule Cat, also known as Jólakötturinn, is described as being ginormous and larger than the local houses.
Yeah, it's hard to sneak up on you, though, so you can see it coming from a minute away.
Well, could you in a snowstorm?
I mean, it's supposed to be black, ain't it?
No, I thought he was silver.
Well,
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Well,
you're the research guy.
Jólakötturinn was said to
I
be
don't do shit.
Said to be similar in appearance to the real-life Norwegian forest cat, except its size.
You know the extent of my research? I've got 4 Wikipedia articles open in tabs that I'm not looking at because I'm looking at you.
Man, I love it. I love it.
That's how far I went.
With sharp whiskers and long, fluffy hair, the modernized story of the Yule Cat was born from a poem in a book published in 1932 called Christmas is Coming. Some of the poem's translations paint a haunting picture of this murderous feline. He roamed at large, hungry and evil in the freezing Yule snow. In every home, people shuddered at his name. If one heard a pitiful meow, something evil would happen soon. Everybody knew he hunted men, but didn't care for mice. The poem stems from the older Icelandic mythology dating back centuries. It warns that those who haven't received new clothes by Christmas, particularly children, are at risk of being attacked and eaten by the Yule Cat. The cat is said to stalk and target children with torn, tattered, or frayed clothing before carrying them off to be devoured. The idea of a giant, gluttonous cat is not unheard of in Icelandic culture, and the Yule Cat is...
Nor in American culture.
True.
Ever heard of Garfield?
He is a little gluttonous.
He loved Christmas, but he hated Mondays, and that's fucking relatable.
The Yule Cat is not the only threat of its kind. In an episode of PBS Monstrum, Dr. Emily Zarka states that Iceland has other dangerous mythical felines as well. There is the legend of the Ghoul Cat or Wasteland Cat, which has the ability to bury itself underground and grow larger in size. It then resurfaces to hunt and attack unsuspecting birds, sheep, and even humans. The legend even says that the cat's stare alone can be enough to kill a person. Additionally, 2 giant flying cats are said to pull a wagon across the sky carrying Freya, the goddess of love and sorcery. The Yule Cat is actually a pet to a horrifying family of trolls led by a matriarchal ogre named Grilla. Some of these mythological figures date back to the 13th century and vary from benevolent gift-giving pranksters to dangerous creatures known for kidnapping and eating humans. Grilla herself began as a legend separate from the notion of Christmas, originally symbolizing and personifying the doom and danger of the harsh winter weather and the dangerous, unforgiving landscapes of Iceland, which include terrains such as volcanoes, glaciers, and mountains, where she is said to reside with her troll children known as the Yule Lads.
Dude, that sounds like a really good Christmas band.
It sure does. Grilla and the Yule Lads coming at you today.
Definitely play polka music.
No, yeah, there's an accordion somewhere.
Oh, hell yeah.
Now, the legend states that Grilla, whose name translates to growler, at one point had a husband, but she ate him when she became bored with him. Her earliest descriptions depict her with 300 heads, 15 tails, a beard, and the ears and horns of a goat. Quite the looker, I say. Prior to Christmas, she travels down from the mountain with a sack to kidnap naughty children, while her troll sons, the Yule Lads, reward well-behaved children with presents. The number of Yule lads varies according to different versions of the folk tale, but there are as few as 9 and as many as 22, with 13 being the most accepted number. Each Yule lad is responsible for bringing a gift to Icelandic children for each of the 13 days leading up to Christmas. I like how they roll. They deliver gifts with the help of a second large mythical creature, the Yule goat. And each of the lads play pranks associated with their name. For example, you'll like this one. Spoon Liquor visits on December the 15th, and he's not bringing liquor in spoons, he's licking your spoons.
Like when you're, about that time you'll be baking and stuff. So you got like the batter when you do the little, that 2-pronged mixer thing.
Yeah, a little scooper.
You got to lick those.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. He's a good dude.
Door Slammer comes on the 18th and slams doors.
I mean, he's probably getting off work for the break, and he's frustrated because he taught kids all semester, and they just drove him nuts.
Probably so.
You can't say he's bad either. He's just reacting to his environment.
Window Peeper, also known as college coach's nickname, looks through windows of each house.
I was just checking on people, making sure they were doing what they're supposed to be doing.
That's right. And then reporting back to old St. Nick. I know, man.
That's right. Helping him check it twice.
That's right.
You ungrateful sons of bitches.
As for me and mine, don't ask us for nothing. On the 21st, small gifts are usually left in the children's shoes, such as chocolate or fruit. If a child misbehaves, the Yule lads might leave them a potato instead.
I saw a video where a girl got a potato for Christmas, and she's happier than hell.
I know it, man. She was thrilled.
She was like, a potato!
If the child misbehaves further, they could risk being kidnapped and eaten by gorilla. On the 25th.
Damn, that's a jump.
Yeah.
If you're bad, you get a potato. If you're really bad, you get eaten.
Yeah.
That ain't right.
On the 25th, after the Yule lads...
hold on. There's got to be some levels to this shit. It can't be just that.
I think you just have 2 notches. You got, listen.
And where's the line? How bad can you be before potato becomes getting devoured by a soulless creature?
I think we have a little clue coming up.
Oh, okay. Well, good.
On the 25th, after the Yule lads have finished delivering their gifts, the Yule cat begins his hunt for children who didn't receive any new clothes. This legend bore an Icelandic tradition of giving socks before Christmas in order to keep loved ones safe from the claws of the Yule cat. If a child is found wearing old socks, he or she could be on the list to be eaten by gorilla or eaten by the Yule cat. So
those are your options.
Yeah, so basically you need to make sure you get some new socks or at least some new clothes. Be good. And if you're worse, like if you're bad and they're trying to cancel Christmas on you, you're probably going to get eaten by either a 300-head, 15-tail bearded woman with the horns and ears of a goat or a ginormous kitty cat.
Man, I think you just described my high school girlfriend.
The beard or the head?
My first high school girlfriend. Second one was cool. She's all right.
So
your options are, what if you're really good, but your parents are poor, so they can't afford new clothes?
Your ass is eaten.
Well, that's
just the way it goes, brother. I know.
Just your ass?
I guess. I don't know, man. That may be where everybody moves to Iceland if they're into that.
Excuse me.
Good Lord.
Pouring the shit out of me.
Obviously. So the Yule cat and its frightening family scared Icelandic kids into obedience for centuries. In 1764, the stories caused enough of a commotion amongst local children that using these stories as fear tactics and a means of discipline was banned outright by the government. As time went on, some of the edges around these characters softened, with the Yule lads getting a little bit of a sanctification. They are now known to sport red clothes, white beards, and round bellies. However, the somewhat harsh nature of these earlier Yuletide figures reveals important values in Icelandic history and culture that were instrumental to a healthy society. As far back as the Middle Ages, Iceland's principal export was sheep's wool. Manufacturing wool clothing and products contributed heavily to the overall economy of the country and was essential to individual communities. The sale of wool not only helped keep families financially stable through the harsh winter months, but it also ensured that families had enough wool to face the dangerously cold conditions themselves. Each member of the family was expected to contribute to the practice of harvesting the wool from sheep, processing it, turning it into garments and other products. Children and domestic workers who helped their families appropriately prepare and weave the wool during the autumn and early winter months would be gifted wool articles of clothing in exchange, such as socks. Those who didn't help their families prepare for winter would not receive the socks. The reasoning behind the legend of the Yule Cat may have been to support a strong work ethic directed toward a family's wool production leading up to the coldest parts of the winter months. It may have also served as a warning to those who didn't assist enough with the threat of being eaten by a giant pussycat. I'm going to need you to grab a root there, boy.
Man, I'm telling you, I don't know what's going on with me. I slept like 14 hours.
Imagine that. In this sense, the symbolic danger of the Yule Cat likely represented the real risk associated with an unproductive season. So if you're in Iceland, be on the lookout for Grilla and her 300 heads and her Yule lad children.
I don't think you'd miss her, though.
No, I don't think you would either.
300 heads, that's a lot.
I mean, how are you going to count that? Who sat down and counted that?
And that's such an even number.
Yeah.
Like, hey, that's a lot of mouths to feed.
That's not counting her up to 22 kids.
Yeah. I mean, no wonder they eat people.
Somebody needs to tell that girl how that works.
I mean, yeah, if you got that many mouths to feed, you're definitely just going to start eating people.
Yeah.
You can't be buying grain at the market, baking breads and stuff. That's just too much.
You ain't getting that amount of groceries in one buggy.
Oh, no.
All right, so Krampus is our shining star, creme de la creme, but
everybody knows who's coming.
Now, the Krampus historical origins are generally believed to have emerged onto the old Yuletide scene in Austrian and Slavic celebrations. Winter festivals in the Alpine regions of Austria, Hungary, Slovenia, Croatia, and Germany, as well as Italy, all feature versions of this monstrous anti-Santa, though originally Krampus was really more of a category of a monster than the name of an individual creature. The word itself comes from either the Middle German for claw or the Bavarian word for something lifeless and dried out, Krampen. With plenty of regional variations, Kramperl, Klauboff, and Teufel, half goat, half demon, Krampus are fanged with cloven feet and often long pointed tongues. The oldest and most traditional versions have multiple sets of horns. They carry a pitchfork and a basket to collect children in. And they always have that switch in their hand, most often one made from birch branches. The better to beat you with, my dear child. Yep. That's what the charming monster does. Just doles out some corporal punishment to them misbehaving children you got. You want me to whoop them?
We just don't live in that kind of society anymore.
No, we don't. Krampus emerged in Alpine folklore alongside celebrations of St. Nicholas. At first, it was more of an idea, kind of like a threatening boogeyman. Parents evoked to keep kids in line when food was scarce and attention wavered during the long, dark nights of winter in the mountains. Nice children received presents from St. Nick. Naughty children received a birch branch spanking from Krampus, or even worse.
Man, birch, that's hard wood now.
Yeah.
That's going to hurt.
Yeah. Now, the most wickedly behaved were shackled and tossed into the monster's wooden basket to be carried away to the fires of hell. Could you imagine telling your child that? If you don't behave, Krampus is going to shackle you, throw you in a basket, and then throw you in the fires of hell.
Well, I'm fairly sure it would work, though.
Yeah, sure. You only got to tell them once.
Yeah. You can't be... It would have worked on me. I promise you that much.
Yeah, yeah. The traditions connecting Krampus and St. Nicholas have been interwoven throughout time, despite some conflicting versions of how they came to be associated. There is evidence of performances that link the Krampus to Satan in Jesuit theater, and the monster frequently appears in St. Nicholas plays, so it's possible that the beast was constructed to represent the opposite of divinity. Detailed descriptions of Krampus only emerge in the 19th century when folklorists began recording the costumes worn during Krampuslauf or Krampus Run. In the Alpine region, December the 5th marks a celebratory and usually drunken parade in which people dress as Krampus, walk through the streets, try to scare bystanders, and even chase some of the unlucky ones down. Even if people dressed as Krampus don't actually injure people, there is a symbolic threat of violence and rebellion against decorum. In some regions, Krampus has troops that look like him that stalk the streets from November to Christmas Day. These Krampus troops consist of multiple revelers, and it's considered an honor and often a rite of passage to don the Krampus horns. In the oldest traditions of the Alpine region, Krampus revelers would either blacken their faces, don a dark false beard, and dress in dark clothing, or they wore wooden masks and long fur coats sporting belts with large bells and that birch switch in their hand.
Just seems so gothic, man. So like dark.
Well, they don't get a whole lot of sunlight up there in the winter months.
No, they don't. Well, no, I mean, Krampus is German, bro.
Well, he's all up into the Alpine region too. It still gets dark fairly quickly up there.
No.
In them mountain regions.
It says habitat Southern Germany, region Southern Germany, and Central Europe.
Boy, were you not paying attention? They got him in Austria, Hungary, Slovenia, Croatia, Germany, and the mountain regions.
Research.
Well, we all know yours is better.
Wikipedia says.
In Catholic areas where fear of the devil was strong, the costume included horns to highlight their evil nature. Krampus masks are often called larvae, from the Latin word larva that means both mask and ghost. Traditional masks are extremely grotesque, with exaggerated features and gaping mouths, accented by massive animal horns, usually multiple pairs from different animals. The wood carvers who craft these masks are considered well-respected masters. In the mid-19th century, the monster became associated with Santa Claus, the more secular version of St. Nicholas. Around this time is also where we see the moniker Krampus emerge. In 1862, a newspaper in Budapest was published under Krampus's name, Krampusok, and in 1865, it published an image of Santa Claus with Krampus lurking behind him, solidifying the creature's appearance and transferring the connection to the Christian holiday of Christmas rather than the Holy Saints' feast day. Claims that Krampus is derived from pagan traditions intending to drive away winter and evil spirits is in an ancient fertility rite are unfounded. In reality, there's no evidence for any of this. Scholars found that false pagan origin story of Krampus was invented in the early 20th century by socialist folklorists attempting to cast Christianity as a practice that sullied ancient Nordic customs. The Nazi Party reinforced this false claim, publishing a photo essay portraying the Krampus as a, quote, ancient custom banned for its pagan roots, end quote. In reality, Krampus nights weren't recorded until 1582 in the Bavarian town of Dyson, in passing reference under the name Percht. The Perchten are mischievous alpine spirits and the likely folkloric precursor to Krampus. Documents from the 17th and 18th centuries show Salzburg archbishops trying to ban the Krampus tradition with little success. Interestingly, these bans were not about the monster itself, but were aimed at curbing the raucous celebrations that accompanied them. In the 19th century, the Krampuslauf tradition dwindled, preserved only in a small number of Austrian and German towns until the 1870s. More specifically, red postcards with illustrations of the monster appeared in Austria-Hungary in the latter half of the century. Austria's postal system became the first to deliver postcards in 1867, making the sending of Krampus cards in the late 1880s possible and financially viable. The cards became incredibly popular, a nostalgic reminder for Austrians and Germans who moved from rural areas where Krampus runs were more popular. Unsurprisingly, these postcards often show the horned monster punishing children. Or, in a seemingly bizarre twist of fate, sometimes they're accompanied by a semi-naked woman.
How semi?
Like the boobs are out, is what I think.
Ooh.
Tata's akimbo.
The sounds of the season can often sound like this.
So, when are we getting some grandkids?
But with Hilton's season to stay sale, they could sound a bit more like this. Or this. Stay and save up to 20% off when you book before January 5th at Hilton.com. Hilton, for the stay. Minimum 2-night stay required. Excludes luxury and all-inclusive properties. Terms and conditions apply.
The holidays aren't about where you're going. They're about the moments you share along the way. Experience the joy of connection at the Lincoln Wish List sales event. Right now, visit your local Lincoln retailer or Lincoln.com to find exclusive holiday offers on current and past Lincoln models. Let's make more connections and more joy this season.
Akimbo. What? Akimbo?
Perhaps because of these associations with both youth and sexuality in some parts of Austria, children are told that being hit with Krampus's switch brings fertility. Oh, they like the spanking there. While globally, Krampus popularity suffered from the early 20th century association with socialism and the Nazi Party, in the later part of the century, the demonic figure has made a comeback. Since the turn of the 21st century, Krampus events have become larger and more numerous across the globe. Whether this is due to a renewed interest in preserving traditional regional customs as globalization emerges, or a rebellious response to the over-commodification and commercialization of Christmas, the death metal version of Santa is making a comeback.
Nice.
The internet's discovery of the 19th century Krampus cards brought renewed interest to Mr. Krampus. In 2012, an episode of the Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated cartoon focused on Krampus. And that same year, Gerald Brahm's book, Krampus, the Yule Lord, further increased the popularity of the monster and connected him to a false backstory in Nordic mythology and made him an enemy of Santa Claus. Movies, books, and some other popular culture texts in America have perpetuated the connection between Santa and Krampus. Horror films featuring the Krampus emerged around 2010, and the monster has been in the staple ever since. The 2015 film Krampus plays on the Santa Claus-Krampus connection explicitly, with Krampus coming down chimneys and wearing a red fur-trimmed coat and slaughtering people. Commercialization, morbid fascination, reclamation, whatever draws people to Krampus, it allows the tradition to be shared and preserved. In 2014, UNESCO even declared the Krampus play of the town of Oblarn in Styria as vital to cultural heritage of humanity, which proves it's not only the good guys that get immortalized.
Well, yeah.
So,
I mean, there's still people that, immortalized like Shakespeare, and he was evil as fuck, dude.
So this winter holiday season, don't forget to play nice is our undercurrent for today. Because if you don't, you can get eaten, shackled, thrown in a basket, and then thrown into the fires of hell. Or you can get the hell beat out of you with a birch switch. But make sure you got on good socks, new socks, no tattards. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is our three-pronged Christmas, I guess you can say, cryptids. But I will say, let me get to it as I want to just share the Christmas joy that brought this into our life, even though we share 1,000. Hey, why is he so growly today?
There's a bulldozer in the neighbor's backyard, and he's
by God, he don't want it.
They don't want it.
So the good doctor, Dr. Katie, said for the holidays, my 7-year-old neighbor suggested Krampus, Yule Cat, Bearsnickel, and Grilla for the cryptid coverage. Yes, not your typical 7-year-old, and I like that about him. You're kind of welcome. So there you go, boys and girls. You too can have a whole episode if you come up with a good topic, which we know we've got plenty of user requests that we have done throughout the time. I do want to take this time, if you've stayed this long, to let you know that there will not be a newer episode until after the first of the year, because we're going to embrace our mental health and come up with a game plan for the new year of
I'll just
topics.
say this. If there's people out there that are listening and are like, well, they keep saying they take requests, but they didn't do mine. It ain't because we ignored it. We forgot it.
That is true. I've got a thing in my email. That's what I'm going to hit after the first of the year. We're going to bring all those emailed user requests to the forefront. So we'll see how that goes. Any traditional stuff you going to do on Eve there, bub?
We're going to eat with family tonight and tomorrow. And then we're going to do the whole traditional Christmas thing, Christmas morning. I keep trying to give away presents, but everybody's like, no, it's not Christmas. I've already given her 3 presents over the past few weeks because I'm just like, I can't wait. Let's see how happy it makes you. No, we got to wait because I wrapped them horribly.
Well,
so I'm just saying, the reason why I keep pushing to get presents open is because I don't know how long the paper's going to stay on there because it's so poorly wrapped.
You should wrap like I did.
I can't wrap.
No, with the stickers.
I can't wrap presents at all. She wrapped a little tiny one. All she did was stickers. It's going to take like 20 minutes for somebody to get into it.
We've done that one before. I will say this. We got into a group discussion with a bunch of guys that I graduated high school with, and I was like, bring back the mall wrapping station. They would make a killing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they should do it in Walmart and Target and all that in places.
Get you a mobile wrapping station. We'll come to your house and wrap them in your yard.
I think Amazon will wrap them for you, but I don't know if I'm willing to pay the extra money.
Well, the cat's out of the bag with Amazon. Everybody's dropping Prime because you get it faster, and it's sometimes you get it cheaper.
Really?
Yeah, man. And they've doubled since they come out with Prime, so that'll want.
You get the Prime Vidya too, though.
Prime Vidya is the only thing that people are staying with. You don't even get free shipping anymore.
Do you not? Because I don't have Prime. I use my sister's Prime Video.
No, you get basically you get delayed shipping. You get it free is like that. We're gonna give it to Uncle Festus over here, and he's gonna drive it in his van down to where you're at. It's gonna take 14 days. But anyway, you know,
how much more money does that sumbitch need?
Uncle Festus, I don't know.
No, I'm talking about Uncle Bezos.
That's another thing. I have no idea. And that whole strike's not doing them any good either.
As much money as Google has, they charge me every week. I get an email that says my memory's full, and I'm gonna stop receiving emails. Your memory's full. Your memory's full. And so I had to pay $20 for another 85 kilobytes of memory. Granted, it's only $20 a year, but still, I mean, they don't need the money. They get fucking billions of dollars from advertisements, billions of dollars for selling our information.
Yep.
Dude, I told her last night we weren't even on our phones. I know this ain't Google, it's Apple, but still, and Facebook. We weren't even on our phones, and I told her, I was like, yeah, you know, we're talking about New Year's resolutions, and I was like, yeah, I'd like to lose, 30 pounds before the wedding. That'd be a goal that I would have. As soon as I get back on my phone, I'm getting targeted ads for fasting and pills and everything.
Oh, I know, man. It's crazy. Cray.
I'll tell you this: when I got done getting her Christmas present, all my targeted ads were like wonderful things I could have got her. I was like, son of a bitch, why didn't I know about that? She claims she whispers in my phone at night, but
that shit don't work. I tried that one Christmas.
New gun.
That's right. Benelli. Yeah.
Arkansas duck hunting trip.
Yes. It didn't work, dude. It did not work. But anyway.
Bourbon.
Yeah.
Lots and lots of bourbon. Now, if anybody starts getting targeted ads for bourbon, Benelli, or Arkansas duck hunts, let us know. Yeah, it's an experiment.
You're welcome.
I should be getting a bottle pretty soon from our good friend in Kentucky.
Yeah. You got some. Where was I?
The heater gonna come through like a champ.
The heater,
unless it gets confiscated.
The heater. Why is this not working? Man, it's just not working. So anyway, ladies and gents, we hope that you have a wonderful holiday, New Year's, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever you are celebrating. We appreciate
Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa.
We appreciate everything and your loyal support. And Coach, you got anything else there, bub?
You know I don't.
Deuces.